Hi, Mama Cynthia here. I would like to talk today about the 8 current things that I am very grateful for and don't have to do any longer now that I'm retired. Um, the first one is I don't have to cook a big meal for my family every night. Now, I love to cook, and while that wasn't necessarily a problem for me, when you cook every night for 25 years, there's some nights where it seems to be difficult. Those nights were, in my house, were usually grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup. Those got to do something quick, got to do something easy, can't do anything more. So that's number one. Number two is I don't have to set an alarm clock. Now, I usually in my life worked it out so that I didn't have to set an alarm clock, but the reason for that is that I find alarm clocks going off in the morning particularly jarring, and I just thoroughly dislike that. So I try to never do that, and now I can go to sleep when I want and wake up when I want, and it's such a beautiful luxury. Number three, I don't have to answer phone calls anymore. I was the last 18 years of my working life a caregiver, a nursing assistant, and I had clients, and I worked for agencies, and then my very last job was for a private person, and so anytime that she called, I had to answer. I was the only one that was taking care of her. It was just a part-time job, but she was in a wheelchair, and I felt very responsible. And so if she called or it was snowing, I would get in my car and go and make sure that she was okay. And there were times when it was a really good thing that I did that, because one time her heat went out and she didn't realize it, and she was getting very thin and she was in a wheelchair, and I literally had to wrap her in blankets and figure out who to call. So it was very important. So no matter the weather, I was there. So I'm happy that I'm retired now. She passed, and I don't have to do that anymore. Number four, I don't need to keep things anymore that I might need to use someday. There are many things now that I can get rid of, and I call disabled American vets, and they just come and pick up bags of things. So right now I have like 4 and probably one more bag that I have to put together, and I'm going to call them or schedule it online, and they'll just come and pick it up off my porch. And they usually get here really early in the morning, so it's just a way of making things go. I don't have to worry about rush hour traffic for the most part anymore. I don't have to drive in rush hour traffic. There were parts of my route that there were some questionable places where a lot of accidents happen, and I was constantly being concerned about that. And I don't have to do that anymore. I can drive, but I try not to drive when I know that there's going to be traffic. I don't have to go to work anymore when it's snowing. That's number 6. Because there's no place that I have to go. For instance, the next few weeks are going to be cold and snowy here where I live in Ohio. And so I went to the store today and I bought everything that I think I'm going to need, basic food so I can cook and eat, and it's just me, so I don't need much food. And it's such a luxury to just say, you know what, if it's really cold outside, I'm just going to not go out, because that has never been the case in my life up until this point. Number 7 is I don't have to drive at night. It's not a problem to drive at night, but when you're 70, you're not only concerned about seeing properly, but also concerned about something happening to your car and it's in the nighttime and you're on the side of the road and you just don't, when nobody wants that, but when you're younger it doesn't seem to be a problem. When you're older it gets to feel more like a problem. So I'm glad I don't have to do that. And number 8, in the last thing that I'm grateful I don't have to do anymore, and this goes back to when my husband was with me. He passed 15 years ago now, but one thing that I greatly disliked was going to his company parties. Really disliked that. He was the extrovert. He wanted to go talk to everybody. He was mingle, and I love people, but I love one-on-one. And so that was always uncomfortable to me, and having to get dressed and go out at night and all those kind of things, I just never liked that. So I'm very grateful that I don't have to do that anymore. Company parties are way in the past for me. So please tell me what you don't like any longer, and or what you would rather not do in the comments, and let me know what you think. And thank you very much. Have a good evening.